Hello and welcome to Derek McGuire's Week 4 Coding Assignment video. This was the Week 4 coding assignment, and I had to create the code and then upload to GitHub, which I have now done. So this coding assignment had 13 questions. It had to do with arrays, it had to do with creating methods, taking elements out of an array, using loops, and finding the length, finding the average, concatenating things, creating the methods. In some cases, they provided the method signature with the method name and the parameters, such as in question 12 here. Will buy drink, is hot outside, money in pocket. And then question 13, I had to create a method that solves a problem and then explain what that method was and why I chose it. So I wrote the code. Essentially, I wrote the code first, went through, and then made some comments. And this was a good experience. I went through, I noticed that I had misinterpreted some questions. Question 10 and 11, it asks for the average, and originally I had just taken the sums and not done the average, but upon review, and especially when making the comments, I was double checking everything and found that the methods are down below the end of main, and then testing the accuracy of the code I did in Eclipse over here. So I found it easier to create a print output that showed which question I was answering. Made it easier to test things, and it made it easier to read. I felt like it would be easier to grade as well. And so basically that was the assignment. Pushing it to GitHub. I had to create a week 4 coding assignment repository, and then I pushed the file I had from Eclipse, the folder location, into GitHub. And I had a little bit of difficulty with that, but it worked well. It wasn't hard to do it the first time, but then I reviewed the code and I made some changes and I pushed it back, and that taught me a little bit about branch divergence. But it was no big problem, and it was solved pretty easily by just following the instructions and then Googling what some of this stuff meant from the output in the terminal. And so that went well. Testing the results. So for example, question 1, you start with creating an array called ages that would be used. Programmatically subtract the first element from the last element. That was 93 minus 3 was 90. That's what I had here. And it went on like that, just going through, following the prompts. One of the big things was making sure that I read the prompt correctly. Like I said, I had misread some of these things on the first go-around. And in itself, it was kind of a looping process. It was follow the prompt, work the code, test the results, comment on the results, double-checking the questions, going back. I spent a lot of time making comments. That was a big part of this project for me. I met with my mentor, who helped a lot. Mike went over the code I had and offered some suggestions, and that helped me clean things up. And I made comments about that in the code. It was awesome to have that ability to talk. I was wondering if I could even bring this to my mentor, and he was like, yeah, that's fine. And so that was cool. Definitely learned some things there. And then that was basically it. The method 13, that was a fun one, coming up with this idea about take 3 booleans and return a string. We had done 2 booleans. I thought, what about 3 booleans? And then I figured there would be 8 outcomes, which I printed all the results down here below. So that was it. Week 4 coding project. Thank you so much for watching, and have a great day.